It is said that a Section 30 order is required for Scotland to have a legally binding referendum. But why? And what is Section 30 anyway? Section 30 of the Scotland Act relates to the temporary transferring of reserved powers to Scotland from the United Kingdom, and it must be approved by the Scottish Parliament and both houses of the UK Parliament. Yet the issue of a Section 30 order is not directly concerned with referendums, or with sovereignty. Rather, it relates to the Union, because the Union is a reserved power. However, during the 2014 independence referendum, the UK government employed the services of two academics, Professors James Crawford and Alan Boyle, to assess the constitutional aspects of independence. In their findings they wrote, whether or not England was also extinguished by the Union, Scotland certainly was extinguished as a matter of international law, by merger either into an enlarged and renamed England, or into an entirely new state. It may also be misleading to speak of dissolving the Union. In international law, the position of the UK does not necessarily differ from that of a state formed in some way other than by a union. Crawford and Boyle on behalf of the UK government are essentially stating that firstly, the UK is little more than a rebranded, enlarged England. Secondly, that the Union exists only as a historical event rather than an existing entity, because under international law, they consider the UK's position to be no different from any other state. Some unionist bloggers have tried to make a similar argument. The argument is, if the Treaty of Union had extinguished Scotland, then the Union would only exist as a one-time historical event, not a continuing entity. However, given that the Union, as an entity, has been reserved by Westminster, then logically it must still exist as a living entity. Put simply, you can't reserve something that no longer exists. Moreover, if the Union is still in force, then the treaty that created it must likewise still be in force. Yet if Scotland cannot leave the Union of its own volition, then the United Kingdom is not actually working as a union. And by reserving power over the Union itself, Westminster has effectively placed it solely in English hands due to England's larger population and the fact that its MPs can always outvote Scotland's.